Have you ever noticed that every time you save the children, their tents are placed at some distance from each other? I don't think that's accidental. Most likely it's done on purpose. This open detail is love with football, on the basis of which the game 99 Nights in the Forest is based, and you might not have known about it. And let me explain everything to you step by step. First, in the game, we head into the forest to save 4 missing children. But why did we come there in the first place? At the very beginning of the game, we see 4 different slides that tell us the story of what's happening in this forest. First, we're told that a deer was seen, and the next week, 4 children went missing in that same forest. After the police searched the place, they found nothing and closed off the forest. And finally, we head there to unravel this mystery. But we don't know exactly when we entered the forest. But we know that the deer was there long before the children appeared. This means the children might not have been distorted between you, but simply came into the forest and were caught by the deer, one by one. But guys, that's until we read what's written over the slides and learn that this game is based on real events. Many people believe the story is based on the 2023 plane crash in which several adults, including a mother and her 4 children, were involved. In the plane crash, only the mother and her children survived. But soon after, the mother died too, and the children had to fight for survival on their own. But guys, you might think that means there was no 5th person in this story. After all, in the game story, there are only 4 children and their mother. But guys, if you were the game developer, you wouldn't place 3 tents next to each other and the 4th tent separately just like that. But even such small details, guys, are thought out by the developers. And that means there's a reason why that spot is empty. And since we know that the mother was alive for at least some time after the crash, perhaps she gave the children the tents in such a way to honor her memory. After all, she could have been with them. But believe me, guys, the story gets even more interesting from here, because the deer is most likely an experiment by cultists. And this is also connected to the fate of the 4 missing children. And I'm saying this for a reason. First, when you win in the fortress, you'll find 2 items called Cultist Experiment and Cultist Prototype, which shows that these cultists aren't some dumb guys. They're really smart scientists or engineers. Second, when you enter one of the rooms in the shelter, there's a room with nothing in it except white. And there's a mirror that you can only look through from one side. And you use this room to observe people, or maybe even the deer. That is, for an experiment. But right behind this passage, we find metal beds with handcuffs that prevent movement if you lie on them. But this bed, guys, is too big. And I mean, it's big for a human, but the deer could easily fit on it. And we all know perfectly well that the deer is friendly with the occultists. That when the cultists come to us at death, the deer doesn't react to them at all. And perhaps the cultists created the deer as their main weapon or protection for this forest. And honestly, it really works very well, because the deer is always hunting us and doesn't let us survive properly at night. But what does all this have to do with the 4 children and their mother? Perhaps after the mother's death, the cultists took her body and turned it into the deer. After all, we know they're very smart and capable of such a thing. But one more main thing that connects the deer and the mother of the 4 children is what happens in the final scene, which appears when you finally survive 99 nights. And in it, we see how the deer approaches all of us by the campfire. But why does it need all this? After all, it could hunt other animals. Why is it so obsessed with us? Most likely it's thinking that I'm in love in the last moments or just somehow protecting. And this scene completely pushes to the conclusion that the mother is still alive and wasn't killed, but is simply in the body of this deer. And that she's protecting the children also fits the theme that she's kind of completely hiding these children in a document that closes the key and is guarded by animals. The deer might reason about us, but not about the cultists, and not about the 4 children it kidnapped. And this also leads to the conclusion that the deer is the mother. And this empty spot between the children's tents isn't just some developer oversight, but really such a feature in the story that the children want to honor their mom's memory. And so, guys, we can say that the 5th missing person in 99 Nights isn't some 5th child, but their mother. But she's just waiting, being in the body of the deer. Write your guesses about this story in the comments. Like, subscribe to the channel, and I wish you all good luck. Bye.